All right, shalom, shalom. Yeah. Shalom, we the Hebrew Israelites coming out here day in and day out to prophesy the downfall of America, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, modern day Babylon, all these kingdoms in one. And the uprising of Israel consists of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the hopeful elect, the hopeful extended elect, shalom, blessing, multitude, women, men, women, and children. We say hopeful elect because we hopefully be a part of that number to be exempt from this judgment coming to America. You know, we're going to get into, hopefully it's edifying. You know, we're going into, a king, his heart's desire, various topics, whatever the spirit leads us. We can get that, what is that, a king?
King's heart is in the hand of the
Lord. I think it was King David that said, his heart's desire. We have examples of kings in Israel, example of King David, King Solomon, other kings, huh? No, yep. So we're going to face the east and give all praises to the Most High, which his name is Yahawah. He is to exist. He is to be his son, Yahawashi. Giving all praises to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Rakatha Yahawah Baratha Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, the great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers and word for the hope elect. Soon to be the elect, Most High will to open the sin elect, shalom, blessings. It's already in you, so you sometimes like, Most High will. I gotta say that. But King David, a man after the Most High's heart, the Most High said he's gonna rebuild his tabernacle, spiritual tabernacle now. But there's levels to kingship, there's the levels to understanding to be a king, what a king is. Hopefully we go over that, make it edifying.
All right, this is 1 Samuel. This is 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 14. But know now thy kingdom shall not continue. Oh, that's not good.
I think it's in Psalms. You should have your heart's desire.
Oh, I was the one that said David. That's the one I was at.
But it's David's talk.
Yeah, just it was better than that. Saying it. I thought you were the only one that said he saw to himself or stock.
What's desire?
I think it's Psalms 21. Yeah. This is Psalm chapter 21, verse 1. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Psalm chapter 21, verse 1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. The king shall joy in thy strength, O Lord, and in thy salvation. How greatly shall he rejoice?
When our kingdom comes, we're going to greatly rejoice. Go ahead.
Verse 2, thou hast given him his heart's desire, and hast not withholden the rest of his lips.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
So we're going to have our heart's desire, in the kingdom, man, because we're going to be righteous men. Like, the king, Trump is playing he's playing a part of a king, and he gets his desires. They come from the least, of course, the demands, but he get fulfill his seat as a president over here, over all America. Whether it's a role or not. Well, it is a role. He plays a role. It's the Most High's movie, but he gets to enjoy the festivities of being in that seat. So the king has to be a wise king. It says that too. Oh, you kings. I had that in the Psalms. I think I read it really in the scripture of the day. Simply, let me see. A wise king talks about. Remember what it says. Be wise, O you kings of the earth. Okay. Yeah. Get exactly what it was. So when you're a king, you have to be wise. You can't have women and wine and not be wise. It says not be excessive with wine. You gotta have a balance. You gotta discern things spiritually as a king, man. That's why we working to become kings and priests. Most High said he's gonna make us kings and priests, but not he ain't gonna give no nigga a kingdom, man. You gotta be a king that after his heart. Go ahead.
This is Psalm chapter 2, verse 10. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings.
Be wise, O ye kings. Go ahead.
Be instructed, ye judges of the earth.
Judges of the earth, because the king does make judgment. Even when they compared the king with wine and women, they were saying that they think it's a king because when he tells the soldiers to do things, they do them. But he got a right to make the right decision about the soldiers that he's over. Whether he wants to go to war, whether what direction he wants to go in the war, before the war, you you can't get your soldiers drunk and say they could do anything, and lollygag and shit because they're not going to be prepared for the war. So this, a king has a lot of responsibility, man. You had somewhere you going to still. Oh.
Verse 11, serve the Lord with fear.
Yeah, even the king got to serve the Lord with fear. No matter how great you are, you got to serve the Lord with fear. And you got to construct and be constructed under some kind of guidance. Whether a king thinks it's his own conscience, he got to be guided and see what the people say, see what his enemy is saying. He got to contemplate. Shalom to the brothers and a few sisters watching, tuning in. What is that, Isaiah? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's brother. Lord, tell me, watch a couple boards.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy a few chicken bags. Go ahead. So fear the Lord, Yahawah, and the Son Yahawashi. Go ahead.
And rejoice with trembling.
Rejoice with trembling, man. So we can come into kingship. Get that scripture where it says, "I shall make you kings and priests." So that's a very high position, and it comes with accountability and responsibility. So if Most High is going to make us kings and priests over these nations, we're learning. This is the training course of how to be priests. All the nations are involved in some kind of war right now. The war, beginning of war, the retaliation that comes with war, and they making king decisions like chess. Whether they should strike, what part of the place they should strike, whether it's a good time to strike.
This is Revelation chapter 1. It's important. See, but well, go back. Yeah. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 4. John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you, and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. Verse 5, and from Yahawah Bahasham, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth.
See, he's the prince of the kings of the earth. He was a prince under King David, and he became a king, Solomon. You know? You got a king, you got a prince, you know? Then you got a kingdom, you know? Go ahead.
Unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood.
In his own blood, go ahead.
And have made us kings.
Made us kings.
And priests.
And priests. So a priest is just a king. They basically go inside. They basically mean the same thing. That's why we say King Moses. He was a priest. He was a Levite. He came back in the from the spirit world on the earth as king myself. Same thing with John the Baptist is opportunity. Prophets being coming back in their lot. Go ahead.
Unto the Most High and his Father.
And his Father. Go ahead. What is this?
Yeah. And priest unto the Most High, Yahawah, and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
To the power and his Father, you know, the Elohim and their Father, you know, because we're powers on this earth too, but we exercise it right now because we're inside. And we got our crown, like I said, let no man take thy crown. So what is a crown? A king, and Most High willing, we're gonna really get those crowns on manifest physically, get those crowns. That's what you do. You crown a king, or crown him as a king. So Most High willing, we're gonna be those kings and priests. Go ahead.
And you know, it makes a distinction because the Heavenly Father he's omnipotent. There's only one of those, man. And then there's the Son. You know, Ancient of Days. That's why it separates both of those. You know, that's it on that.
Yep. And then you can go to the heart. Go there. The heart of the king. So when you're a king, and you have a whole domain. Let's say you have a whole city, like the city of David, king, city of a king. You have a whole city. You're not gonna only want one woman, man. And this ain't really about women. But I'm talking about that goes with your possessions. That goes with your territory. You know, and you have many women. Like when you look at those celebrities, I named some of them. You know, you want Faith Evans, you want Sade, you want you want Nia Long, you want all of them, man. You know, you want Whitney Houston. Hey, nobody can sing like Whitney. You want Whitney? That's pretty. You know? What if a woman can cook and another woman can't? You want both of them because hey, you like this woman. What if a younger woman is young and vibrant and she's pretty, and that older woman she's more like reserved and all that?
Even if you want both, even if both of them cook, you still gonna want both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
If they both,
You know what I'm saying too?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying too. Well, also, and different qualities of a woman. Woman looks different.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Jake, when back in the 90s, 80s, whatever, he liked the yellow bones, the red bones, the chocolate. You know, what is it? 80 flavors of the ice cream. You want all them women, man. You know, like apostles and elders, they always show that with Chris Tucker. Chris, Tucker. Yep. He's like, oh man, I'm gonna choose that one. And I take that right there. He was choosing all of them. And that was only in Hong Kong or wherever they were. So imagine him going to another city with exotic women. He don't want them too. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
See, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So when, like even Trump, when he make his decision, it's the Most High made. And the elites, they the puppeteer, but the Most High is controlling them too. But the Trump ain't doing nothing that the Most High don't want him to do. So if he come out and they say, well, this is the draconian laws, then he got the power of a king to have it to man. The people of the land do what he say too. Until another king get into office, you know? Go ahead.
He turneth it whithersoever he will.
Yeah, he turned it what? So even us as children of Israel, Solomon didn't go out. You know, I mean, he did. I'm saying he didn't go out because of women. He went out because of their gods and all that. Same thing with David. This women. You know? Hell, what woman, like I said, what woman today is going to say, go into my handmaid? This woman, you know? Hey, Sarah said, go into my handmaid, Hagar. You know, when they couldn't have children, they was like, go into my handmaid. Women wouldn't even let that pass. Hey, she's just a concubine, I don't care. They're supposed to see that's that watered down America, having you confined in a prison-like state. And they definitely don't want to see 2 women on Jake's arm, 3 women on Jake's arm. They don't want to see that. So polygamy is kind of illegal in America. You know? But you can have a mansion full of hoes and shit. Nobody say nothing about it. No protest.
Checkers with them bitches.
Yeah. And you see he come out with his robe and wine and shit. Sometimes a cigar, he was living like a king, man. 60 to 80 women in the house. 20 women upstairs, 6, 10 living in the living room. 2 of them, 3 of them cooking for him and shit. Then he got some of them in the pool, out there, you know, in the pool area, you know, in the water and all that. Like shit. But when it comes to a so-called Black Latino Native man, cheat. Most likely to be get y'all and all that. Nah, man. Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people.
Yeah, a wise judge instructs his people the right way too. Like in America, a lot of immoral acts are going on because the king. You know, because they allowed it. Oh, yes, they allowed bestiality, idolatry. They allowed. You know, we ain't gonna have that stuff in the kingdom, man. We're gonna be righteous kings. That's what Tazadak means, right? Righteous king. Order. Yahawah came in the order of Melchizedek, which means righteous king, pretty much. Allah Tazadak. Go ahead.
And the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Yeah, good man. He thinks. You know, he got wit. He thinks about what's the best. You know, he's a student, a prudent student. He's learned from his fathers. He's well. That's why Jake really can't. They really can't figure out how to control their own household, how to rule their own household, how to rule the ghettos and the slums. It's not the ghettos and slums. It's really your mentality. But, you know, Jake often becomes a product of his environment because he believes what he sees. But that's really ratchet ghetto people, man. You know, I'm talking about when it comes to us being with the Most High, his chosen, his special people.
Yeah, our customs are to be righteous.
Yeah.
You know, we do have iniquity in us. We ain't saying we just acting holier than now, but we strive for righteousness, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or we don't try to make it seem like our righteousness is of us.
Yeah,
we know we need salvation, man.
Like Elder Yahawah, he was like, think like you're supposed to think like a king, man. A king ain't gonna eat no abominable foods, no bottom feeder foods and shit.
Hell no.
You know, he gonna eat, and he ain't gonna imagine him saying that's legal for his people to eat, and he pushes that on his people. He's not gonna have a real kingdom, man.
Yep.
His men are not gonna be ready for war. They're gonna be weakened through these poisons and lust of women. You know, like you said, like when a fighter, he ain't gonna have sex before the fight, man. Even brothers going into the Sabbath and on highways and byways, presenting yourself before the Most High. You're not gonna have, you know, lay down with your woman being unclean and then go to present yourself before the Most High. You know, because you got to be. It's a preparation. You got to be prepared and be your strongest. You're blessed like the way, you know, what your best peers, you come all bummed out, they're gonna be looking at you like you disrespecting me. The wedding looking like that. Where's your tuxedo at? We all gotta have the same formation. They dress the same, they got the same exact we gotta have the same mind, same dress code of the Most High. We're his bride, you know? And through us, through his son mainly, and through us, we're gonna have many, not only many women, but we're gonna have many nations under us. You know? Our heart desires to have these nations under us, man. I want these nations under us, man. I want to have servants and slaves. I want to have handmaids, concubines, and all that. We don't get that scripture where it says when the Most High sons ask them, and they ask righteous and not amiss, He's gonna give it to them, man. Go ahead.
Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself.
We're not asking many women and it's sexually abuse our women. We're gonna love our wives. As many wives as we're gonna have. And like I said, that's the strength of a man that the Most High gives, that we got enough strength to love all y'all women. You know, we ain't gonna be like, damn, I love you less. Nah, you one body still. Go ahead.
Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself.
As the judge, because that's kingship too, judge. Get in the seat of a judge. You know, judge. It says, they shall judge the world, even the smallest matters. So all these intricate things that people think in their minds and have questions about these nations, how they live, you'll be like, huh? Go judge. You know, your daughter come to you, like, I'm coming of age, Dad. I'm becoming a woman. I want to wear high heels. You gotta judge that matter. You're like, nah, you ain't ready, you know? And you beautiful already. Why you need makeup? Let these other women do that. Let they talk about me, Dad. Who cares? You know? You might even teach your daughter a little bit and so if woman talk shit, she'll whoop her ass. Go ahead.
It says, so are his officers.
So are his officers, man. That's why you got, like, now America's kind of divided even with the decision of Trump, because they be like, I don't agree with that. You're supposed to have all the men under you in the same mind, same, you know, same spirit. And you know, these kings of the earth, they don't have that. They don't have that power like that. They exercise power, but they don't have it like that. Only Israel is going to have power like that. Go ahead.
And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
All that dwell therein, man. And you know, other cities and another thing, other countries and other people, nationalities, their women love Jacob. Starting with something like black men. So if you know, we make that's when we had you know, enough strength to battle China. But the Chinese women love us. They be like, I don't care, you know how your woman, if you lose a fight, your woman patches you up and say, I still love you, baby. But they'll start coming over here sleeping with us. You know? And we'll have more of a nation, more of a mighty nation, man. But Esau wants to cut that off. He wants to cut us down, take our women from us, divide the house, take the man out, you know, put your children in adoption agencies, give them up to sodomites and shit, you know. So our kingship is tarnished, man. But with this word through Yahawah Yahawashi, it's being rebuilt, and that's what they hate, you know. That's what they hate, man. You'll hear from these German women. They love Jake, man. They love, I want a black man. Chinese woman, I want a black man. You know? These Filipino women, I want black men. That's in our whole state. So you can imagine when we in the kingdom, man. Go ahead.
This is Psalm chapter 46. It reads, I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, thou art my son.
Thou art my son, man. You won't get, and we're gonna get that other scripture after this that goes up to that. When you see your son, you'll get Dad, I met, I met Vanessa, but I like Kim too. Damn, son. See, in this world, we exercise with one woman because it's a hassle. It could be, trouble, especially with two. If there's one trouble with one, but let you be a celebrity like, what's a celebrity is
Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown. His father's probably proud as hell of him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He even hooked his dad up with women. You know what I'm saying? When people love Michael Jackson, out every time he was getting women. But who Mike had? He had Elvis Presley's daughter. He had Elizabeth Taylor. He had all the women. Nobody said nothing because he's Michael Jackson. Prince. He had Apollonia. He had Vanity. All pretty women. He had Sheila. He had Kat, that one that dances for him. He had what's that one that looked like a so-called white woman? She's a Jake. Sheena Easton. She's a Jake woman. He had her. So nobody said, Prince, you doing too much and you got too many women and all that. No, because he's a prince. And people, all them women love him. They let a poor man, two women, you going out, throw stones at him because you ain't nobody. Go ahead.
This day have I begotten thee.
Yep, go ahead.
Verse 8, ask of me.
Most High said, ask of him. Go ahead.
And I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
Give thee thy heathen for thine inheritance, man. We can have the whole heathen nations, man. 17 nations is under us, man. Esau gonna be exempt though. We're gonna have him though for 1,000 years. Most High gonna say, hey, you can do whatever you want to. We're gonna have our heart desire to do whatever. We're gonna meditate terror on these devils, man. The angel ain't gonna get involved and say you whipping them too much. Hey, you whipping them too much. You're going up. Because we already gonna be righteous minded, and when we whip their ass, that's what it's gonna be. They ain't gonna be our women gonna be like, oh, crying. Our women gonna be in their right mind, like whoop his ass. We're gonna be ruling with a rod of iron, man.
And the uttermost parts of the earth are thy possession.
Uttermost parts of the earth. Not America. America is going to be destroyed. Any other part of the earth, Most High. And this is going to be a memorial. So it's going to be beneficial to us too. As far as like, America, that wicked ass place was destroyed. We chanted America down and Most High helped us destroy that shit. Babylon the Great became not great. Destroyed in 1 hour. She, that is my enemy. And our women are along with that today. They realize too, even on this side, let us take let's eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. You know how women like to wear apparel. That's all they think about is high heels and outfits, and we got that. We just want to be called by that name. That's king status right there. No, go ahead.
Verse 9, thou shalt break them down with a rod of iron.
Yeah, we're going to break them down with a rod of iron, man. The heathens. Because they troubled us. And they talk a lot of shit, these heathens, man. China think they get the next superpower. They ain't even be like, give the Negro a chance. Maybe they came from slavery and maybe they got a chance. Give them a try. They ain't going to say that. It talks about our enemies clap their hands at us. They wag their heads at us. They don't desire us like, who cares about Israel? Go ahead.
Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
Yeah, dash them. That's the king's too, man. Well, Nebuchadnezzar was the king, right? He ordered every man that wouldn't worship the statue to be burnt in the furnace, if I'm not mistaken, or cut up in pieces, whatever the judgment he gave. If you didn't worship that statue, You know, they threw like King David. I mean, that's like it. They threw Daniel in the lions then because he went against the order of the petition that was set out according to the gods of the meat, according to the meat. You know, the laws of the meat, pretty much. So when the Most High flip it, they're gonna have to keep our laws, man. And if they get out of order, we're gonna be on their ass. We're gonna become kings and priests, man. Go ahead.
That's it on there.
Mm-hmm. The next one is that's some no, you just said that the one that I just talked about should be oh, will he give him a stone instead of bread? Oh.
This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 8, and it reads, "For everyone that asketh, receiveth."
Everyone that asks, receiveth, man. Shit, they asked, who was that? Esau even asked Isaac, is there one even blessing for me, oh Father? Thou not one blessing for me, Father? Cried out, and what did Isaac do? He blessed him. And then Hagar, a damn heathen, she went out there and cried in the mist, and cried and said, "Man." And then the angel came and said, "Why is I crying?" Yeah. And then she got blessed. She said, you shall have
12 princes.
Yeah, you should have 12 princes. Ishmael, and look at Ishmael today. He's rich. You know? So if the Most High could do that for these other nations, he's definitely gonna do it for Israel. But that's temporal. Those are temporal blessings. Because Ishmael is going into slavery too.
They want to call Esau how to do slavery. They definitely going to slavery. You're gonna be whooping their ass just as much Esau ass. Esau gonna get a little bit worse though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how there's gonna be a level of treatment there, because they are. Get it up. Yeah. What it said, drink the dregs, you gonna get your cup work.
Yeah. He said, I will lay on them through the hand of Israel with my fierce anger. Yeah. It ain't gonna be our anger. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be how angry he is, and that's a whole nother level, man.
You're gonna know because we're gonna have spiritual powers, baby. Spiritual powers, man. A missile can't do nothing against chariots, man. They're gonna try to fight. And you see, Iran was throwing shooting missiles at the chariot. Not one of them hit, man. Chariots dodging that shit like, going and swallowing them and shit. Going in volcanoes, coming back up, going in the water, going up in firmaments, come back down. Go ahead.
And he that seeketh, findeth.
You seek it, you find. That's what it says. Seek, you shall find it, man. That's why these elites be finding shit. Most High, his word remains true. So they be diligent with it. Say their heart is every one of them. They diligently search things, like they search history and search science and all that. There's a lot of stuff they find, man.
That's why by the time they come over here, they be like, I've been watching you for 7, 8, 9 weeks, and they already know what they want to ask. They be trying to act like they do.
They already done research about our camps and all that.
Yeah, they know what we're talking about.
They act fresh.
Yep.
But they know, and that's the same thing as Esau. He know who we are.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And to him that knocketh, it shall be open.
It shall be open. You knock, and it should be open, man. Okay.
Verse 9. Or what man is there of you whom if his son asks bread?
If his son asks for bread, Father, I want a kingdom. You're gonna have you can have it. And you get can we fly? Be able to fly. And we have many women. What's the problem? And it's going to be more. It's more women than men all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, what the other women just going to be standing around and like having nobody? We're going to have all of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a million women saying we have not yet a husband. Come on, man. Go ahead.
Will he give him a stone?
Will he give him a stone, man, instead of bread? No, you're going to give your son bread and as much as bread as he needs. You know? Hey, even a brother, you know? Even with Esau and Jacob, he said, I'm faint to die. He was his brother. He said, all right, my brother's at a point to die. And said, I'm going to give him his lentils and, you know? We at the point to die right now. We are without right now. I'm talking about physically. We don't got nothing. And we asked the Father to, you know, help us, strengthen us, because you know the flesh gets weak. Your mind gets weak too. Like, damn, that's a lot of pressure, man. There's a lot of things going on, man. It's a lot of things that they saying. You know, I got family and they talking about the bombs are gonna drop, man. Or it's sleeper cells in here, it's Russians over here, it's people that jump, you know? Pray about that, man. Go ahead.
Verse 10, or if he asks a fish.
If he asks for a fish, man, I love the scriptures, man. Go ahead.
Will he give him a serpent?
Will he give him a serpent, man? You know, no, he's going to give him fish. And remember the Yahawah fed the people with bread, loaves of bread and fish, and it was plenty. It was even more than they wanted, even with the spiritual manna. Israel was like, oh, we can't eat no more, Lord.
And you know, Jake, you know it has some seasoning on it. It wasn't no bland ass fish, man. You know it has some seasoning on it. Like, how you get the seasoning on there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, check.
Yeah, but if you ask a miss, he gonna stop you. Yeah. You know, and they showed it in the green passes. 2 kids, Lord. The thunder, like you don't need 2 kids.
Yeah, get what you got.
Get what you can.
Yeah.
Right now, we gotta get what we can. All right. I'll take the white. I wanted all of them.
I need one right now because we at war.
We at war, man.
You know, I said, be it down like you didn't have none, man.
But like I said,
it's time short.
If you had, you know, let's name like 4 women singers, and you know they can not only cook, but they can sing too, and they pretty. You gotta pay some shekels for that. You gotta give something up for that.
You know, awesome.
Yeah, she got all those qualities in one.
Yeah,
you have Faith Evans, Mary J. Blige, you have Sade, all in the same house. Whitney Houston, The Voice, all in one roof. Everybody, Jake gonna be like, how'd you get that, man? How you do that? They gonna, if Jake see another Jake with 3 women and that's all his wife, he gonna be like, I gotta get down with that, man. How'd you do that?
And that's why the Lord don't got us like that out there, because there'll be a lot of people coming in the truth just for that.
Just for that.
Just for that.
That's why the Most High gotta humble us. You know what I'm saying? we can hardly get 1 woman in shit. Go ahead.
Verse 11, if ye then being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children.
Yeah, because even evil men know how to get good gifts and shit. You got motherfuckers that murder all day, like giving their sons gifts, like, son, I got a gift for you. What? You know? Go ahead.
How much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things unto them that ask it?
Yeah, so we asking, and that's a benefit. It's not only because, you know, women are pretty and they got bodies and, you know, and they look good and they're skin, you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be on top notch in the kingdom. Not only because of that, it's because of them being a possession and a benefit to us. They bear our children. You know, when you come in the door and you got a good meal waiting for you after work, you feel better. Or you about to fight and your woman say, no, you can really get them, babe. You can really take them. You feel encouraged, even coming from a woman. You know, they always show it in the Rocky movies. Israel. You know, he was kind of stepped out a little bit on that. But he had his woman in his corner at the ring, and she was like, "Rocky, yeah." She's like, he was loving that. But when you lose, you still want a woman to be there too. Like, they you'll get him next time, you know. I lost the job. Well, you'll get another better. There's too many women out there like that. They don't treat us like kings. They treat us like princes.
Verse 12, therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them.
Yeah.
For this is the law and the prophets.
Get that a king, you know, 15,000 against another king, because Most High said He's put nations against nations, kingdom against kingdoms. Kingdom goes back to bloodline too, man. The King Solomon, his father was David, and they talked about that, right? Even in the New Testament, how can my Lord say to my Lord, "Sit down there on the right hand"? Regarding, you know, David and Solomon, or even Yahawah, you know, that was Solomon. So a lot of men marvel at how these things be, man. Like, man, you got, you know, your father's a T.I. His son is king. His son's name is King, right? One of his sons, King Harris, I think. But that's because the loins of T.I. So we come from the loins of our forefathers, even the Most High, the loins of His Spirit. Yahawah was the first created spirit from Yahawah. So you got spiritual loins and you got physical loins. You know, we came out of the loins of Yahawah. You know, the spiritual loins out of Yahawah. You know, so we do belong to a special power. We are a special people, and we're going to get special powers. Go ahead.
This is Luke 14:28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
That's what kings do. They calculate. They work on stuff. They, you know, like we talked about a poet, you know, the majesty and the poetryism of things. You know, the author, Most High's author, he put all this together. He correlates. I mean, he controls the matters, man. He puts people where they should be and say, yeah, you're gonna act as the wicked man. You're gonna act as the righteous man. Y'all fall in the middle and all that. He's gonna orchestrate this whole thing. He's thinking, you know, we coming out the heart of the time. Yahawah, when he was on earth, they pressed him with those questions, didn't they? They were like, so they got caught in the very act of the adultery. And he answered as a king, in the spirit of a king. They were like, hey, they couldn't even say nothing, right? Accusers, they ran off. Go ahead.
Verse 29, lest haply, after he have laid the foundation.
Yeah, you lay a foundation, man. Go ahead.
And is not able to finish it.
See, you know, and that's when we pray that we finish this foundation. Well, the foundation is already laid, you know, that we finish within the foundation that is already laid, which is Yahawah. Says that in the scriptures. Go ahead.
All that behold it begin to mock him.
And begin to mock him. Go ahead.
Saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
And it's going to set an example of a king too, with the like manners and the like things that was done of him, you know. But you got all these tools. I used to do that a lot too, even with music. I love music, but when I got all those instruments and I bought a guitar and shit, I was like, I'm just not a guitar player, man. I ain't gonna learn this shit. I bought a what is they? MPC. You know, remember the MPC? I bought that and I tried to make some beats. I was like, it's not in me to be like, do this. You know? Other brothers, it is. You know? So I you know, and that's why you know, you can't brag about that. I'm gonna be The dopest producer in the world. What happened to that? Yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 31, or what king?
There you go. What king? Go ahead.
Going to make war against another king?
Yeah, because kings went to war with other kings. A kingdom against a kingdom. You have a king. King David slew his 10,000, right? Saul was a king. Saul slew his thousands. And David was honored by the people and the women, and got Saul heated. And Saul became jealous, heated, envied David, and tried to kill David. You know, David was a king, man. Go ahead.
Sit it not down first.
He sit it down first, man. He sit it down first. Go ahead.
And consulted whether he be able 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000.
Yeah, because he got 10,000 more soldiers than I do. So you consult with your soldiers too. Are y'all ready for this battle? They might say, nah, we ain't ready. If your men ain't ready, you can't send them to war. You know, and that's what America has. They don't exit. They're not in the war state of mind until war happens and shit. You can't take somebody fresh off a video game, a gamer and shit, and put them in a fucking war field and shit. Because what they do, they train like for what, 3 months to a 6-mile kick boot camp, and then they ain't ready for war. You always got to be in a war state, like, hey, we're always more mindful. You know, at any time these motherfuckers can drop it. They be like, shit, no. The soldiers be like, oh no, I'm not ready. I'm not prepped for this. I didn't even think we'd have war until another 10 or 20 years. Now it is. Go ahead.
Verse 32, or else, while the other is yet a great way off.
Yeah, a great way off. Go ahead.
He sendeth an ambassador.
Yeah, you send an ambassador. Let's scope out and see what this is. Let's see what are they coming for. You have somebody that meet him halfway and be like, hey, what's going on? The king is up there and your people up there. You gotta send a couple of ambassadors he's like, we want to, and they don't even attack them. They'll be like, well, we want to make war. See, kings did shit and people did, they went to war a different kind of way back then. Jake just get out the car and like, what's up? Nah, you don't know who's with that man. You get out the car and there'd be eight cars pulling up. Like, what's up, huh?
And the king don't want his people to perish either. Yeah. So he'll try to, let's see where we can work out something. Mm-hmm. That's what they always did. And if you're all right, okay, it can't be a solution. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. And it was all agreed upon before anything was acted on. Yeah.
Yeah. We asked Yahawah, like, should we go out and fight Benjamin?
Yeah. You say yes or no.
Yes or no. So he has. Go ahead.
So a desire and conditions of peace.
Or if he's there for conditions of peace.
Because true men, they know that everybody gonna lose, man. In war, man.
Yep. Yep. So you meet somebody as ambassador, and they be like, well, we want to go to war with y'all. And then they'll say, all right, well, let's go to war. And they're part, and they like, yeah, they want to go to war. So prepare the baggage, prepare
the royal baggage.
Royal baggage filled with weapons and shit. Going to war. But do the women go with them? No. They take care of the children at home and all that. The household and all that. The men go. So, and then when in the city, if a city get overtaken or another country get overtaken, the women become spoils. Like our women right now, we're at the bottom. We got overtaken by the nations, and our women are spoils right now. That's why booty means spoils. That's why they shake their ass everywhere they go. They on TikTok, YouTube, they show their booty because they spoils. They out there independent and shit because the whole nation has came down.
And they spoiled it.
Yeah, and they spoiled. Yeah. You know, and the children are growing up spoiled after them. Take a candy from a baby, he might kick you in the knee with his baby shoes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28.
Get off my bite you on the knee.
You know, this kind of the king, you have to be up in your own spirit before you can receive any kind of responsibility. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
And you build up the spirit. The kingdom is messed up. You know? They could be like, yeah, I think we can have three. No. You gotta have a king set up righteously. Like, no, you gotta take someone's staff. No, can't do that. You know, so we can have a constructed, instructed kingdom, man. The spirit of the Most High. Yahawah Yahawashi. Go ahead.
Proverbs 26, verse 1, as snow in summer and as rain in harvest, so honor is not seemly. You know? Like, you see snow in the same way you won't see you know? Yeah, that wind blowing 30 miles an hour today. But you know, majority of the men on the earth, they don't have honor, man. Especially for Yahawah. They don't have honor, man. I have no dignity for their people, their own people, man.
That's why Jacob gets shot up and stupid shit. Stupid reasons. The king ain't gonna never be doing that.
Nope. And he's not gonna instruct his people to do that either.
Yeah.
You know, so we gotta follow in that likewise manner and you know, complete the course.
Yeah.
You know, in a more standard fashion of righteousness, man. You know, there's not no order here in the sense of they don't really give you a direct way to go when you maneuver yourself in the earth, man. They just say do whatever you want.
Well, not of course. Jake is not trained to be kings. They trained to be niggas and animals and shit. So they do animal behavior. You know, you will never be taught to be royal in this place. You know. Go ahead.
That's it on that.
But like I said, in England, they still practice royalty and shit, man. You know, they still be carried in those carriages, like those royal carriages. You know? So that's what we're doing. Like, you know, we're gonna have our heart's desire, but we gotta be righteous about it. Most High is gonna make sure we righteous. Remember, it says, you know, oh, you're gonna do right. Like your parents say, you're gonna do right. You know, I'll just run away. You know, you step in my house, but you're gonna need you need Yahawah. We need Yahawah. You can't even live on this earth and be a king, consider yourself a king and priest without Yahawah Yahawashi. Like we said, the king's heart is in the Most High's hand, man. All his decisions according to how the Most High wants them to make them. So, you got something.
Yeah. When you go in the book of Acts, the 26th chapter, and it speaks about Yahawashi, he explains that a king must know certain things. You know, he got to know certain things that process. You know, everything be done decently and in order. You know, it's a process to becoming a king.
Yeah, because like we said, the Most High is controlling these nations. So even America, is even slutty as she is, and whorish as she is, she'd still go by rules and regulations that's set up for a government type of setting. So you're gonna have to live under some kind of government. It's gonna be governed, whether it's wicked or righteous. So we talk about a righteous government, man. Go ahead.
This is Acts chapter 26, verse 20. Wait, I might go back to. Yeah. This is Acts chapter 26, verse 19. Whereupon, O King Agrippa,
Agrippa, yeah.
Agrippa.
I don't know, you know. Depends on how you.
I was not disobedient unto the heavenly vision. Verse 20, but showed first unto them of Damascus and at Jerusalem and throughout all the coast of Judea, and then to the Gentiles, which are talking about Israelite foreigners, man. You know, that's why in James 1:1, James said to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, greeting. That's what a Gentile was, an Israelite born outside the land.
Yeah.
You know, that they should repent. You know, repent means to return. And if you was a heathen, how you gonna return to the heritage of the Most High? It wasn't given to you.
Yeah. That's why today they don't follow the laws, and the law is not in to follow. But you'll have Jake. He come from a church background, and he always trying to get himself right. Like, damn, I know I gotta quit smoking. I know I gotta quit eating all this bullshit.
Yeah.
So he comes from kind of like, even going up, he comes from
righteousness.
Yeah.
And he know how it's gonna be when he come approach us, when he come approach the prophets. So he'll still take his ass back to the church. He'll still go back in there and try to hear a soft message, man.
Yeah.
And realize he didn't get fed, man. Then he come see us again, he like, damn, I ain't ready. We like, hey man, you know, whatever. But you've been given clear things on what you need to know what to do to be a king, man. There's certain customs you got to do, man. But you ain't gonna be no king, man. Now off the first, you will second hand in the kingdom, you'll be a prince. But ain't nobody want to come in the kingdom of shame, man.
Nope.
You know, you earning a mortal priesthood that you ain't need help fight for, man.
You want a crown, but you ain't done nothing to get it.
You ain't done nothing to get it. Now that's not how it works, man. We gotta strive for that, man.
Like I said, even Jacob, he worked for Rachel, but he had to even work for Leah first before Rachel, and he gave shekels.
And Jake, the main thing with Jake don't want to humble himself, and because there are men that are better than other men. That's why you have to be taught. Yeah. But if you can't go in that order, and you feel like, you know, like somebody's trying to just not really be there for you, in the sense of like when you have a father figure over you, they're not trying to be there for you. Then you just got to go on your own way, and you're gonna find out, man. A man's ways, it seems right to him, but it leads to death, man, because he don't know the customs of the Most High.
Just like a son trying to say he know more than the father.
Yeah, get that from the apostles, man.
Say you know more than apostles.
Yep.
You know how many years and experience and apostles have gotten and have? Come on, man.
Yeah, you gotta do this a certain way, man. And just like Elder Ariella told me when I went down to Dallas with Zaquan, he said it's a lot of shutting the fuck up and listening, man. It's a lot more than that than talking, man. Jake don't want to do that. Jake want to talk a lot. Yeah. Well, hey, man.
Well, if you talk a lot, you gotta walk a lot.
Yeah, you better be walking then. Talking, you better be walking,
like
man.
They say often all these callers don't have no video.
Yeah.
They just, and if they stop one time and ask the question, they go back to party and it's the world. They don't care about that.
When you talk about it, you better be about it.
Yep.
That's in both aspects. That's in the truth and in the world. Ain't nobody gonna give you no job if they know you don't work. Same way with the Lord, man.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna get no job.
I think I was talking to Jan or you. I was like, if you a gangbanger and shit, somebody come roll up in your neighborhood and start shooting, you gotta be ready for that shit. You ain't over. You in that lifestyle, man. You know? You can't be surprised and shit. Oh, man. I was asleep. No.
Your actions got to be louder than your words. And the king must apply mercy as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you a king and you just abusing your power, you just punishing everything that's in your way, that's not kingdom minded, man.
That's why it says that scripture, you masters, remember you have a master in heaven. You know?
It's not kingdom minded, man.
Yep.
That's why Esau gonna get it, man, because he ain't showing nobody no mercy, man. Mm-hmm. So they should repent and turn to the Most High and do works meet for repentance.
Meet for repentance.
And that's like MEET, like useful, man. Your works have to be useful to the Most High. How you do that? How do your works be useful to almighty power, man? That's serving the elect, man. Serving the tabernacle. That's the only way.
We talk to the women too. You gotta be just said you gotta be meat for your man. You gotta be helpful, beneficial to your man. You gotta serve your man, and knowing that hey, he might not have the best, the most money, and the best position, but and it's true. God's wisdom, understand. You gotta honor him, man.
And you know, just like we always say that this is the bride. You know, the elect is the bride of Yahawah. So, you know, Yahawah, if he died for them, he gave a small portion of him to each one of those people, man. So when you are serving the OK-LA-Homa, you are serving Yahawah. You know, especially when it comes to the brethren. You know?
Yeah, somebody give your son a gift, it's like he gave you a gift. That's your son. A woman say, you got a handsome son. She's complimenting you. Go ahead.
Verse 21, for these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. Verse 22, having therefore.
That's how you know how serious they were.
Yeah.
They were actually killing people. Like,
yeah.
Hey.
Because they knew Yahawah wasn't just talking, man. He was about what he was doing, man. He was about his work, man. Yeah. And they knew that, you know. Verse 22, having therefore obtained help of the Most High, I continue unto this day, witnessing both small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. Verse 23, that Hamashiach, Yahawah should suffer, and that he should be the first that will rise from the dead and should show light unto the people and to the Gentiles, right? Israelite foreigners, right? You don't get it, we're moving on. Verse 24, and as he thus spake for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside himself. Much learning doeth make thee mad. Verse 25, but he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness.
Yeah, that is another word for crazy. Lunatic.
We know what we talking about, man. Yeah. You gotta know what this doctrine is talking about, man. And of course, the worldly people gonna think we mad because they not kingdom-minded, man. What kind of king argue with someone who doesn't know how to be a king? There's a whole book in Ecclesiasticus talking about that. Don't ask somebody about business if they don't know how to run a business. Don't ask somebody how to, be with a woman if he ain't got no woman like that. And that's why we don't give marriage advice here, man. That's why we don't do that. We ain't gonna sit here and, we ain't hitch. We ain't doing all that, man. We're sticking with the scriptures, man.
That's something.
That other shit, you gotta handle that with the Most High. It ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck we got going on, man.
You got some Israelites in certain camps that still go to a therapist and shit.
Yeah.
Knowing that they got the scriptures, man.
That's not any over their own spirit, man. I tell you this, you're gonna deal with a woman, you gotta deal with her according to she gotta go your way or your way. You don't do it like that, she gonna rule your ass. Yeah. That's the only advice you really need.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I said. Like, Jake ain't ready for 1,000 women, of course.
Hell no.
He ain't ready for 7 women.
Hell
that's
no.
just a completion.
Hell no.
And what you gonna do? Them women you know what them women gonna be doing? Waiting for you to tell them what to do. Jake ain't got nothing for him. Like,
most Jake ain't even doing shit. Most Jake just sitting the fuck around, man.
Yep.
How you gonna tell what you gonna have her do? Gotta have her doing something more than just cooking and cleaning. She gonna get bored. Especially these worldly women today. They want some excitement or something. To be feeling like something's being built. Yeah. You don't need all that shit, man. Yeah. So it says, for the king knoweth of these things, before whom also I speak freely, but I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him. As a king, this stuff not supposed to be hidden from you. You're supposed to understand how to execute yourself in the world, man. In a kingly order, man. Kingly fashion. That's what we've been trained by the elders and apostles, man. And we still being trained daily, man. Especially us young brothers. We got to be continually surveyed. That's what the Lord said. He said, I will try them in the fire, man. That means constantly being checked, constantly being questioned. You can't go through that. You ain't gonna never be no king, Jake. You want to just be under surveillance in any kind of way? Hey, man, that means you ain't no king, man.
And Jake tried to be a king another way with money, women. He don't, like we said, he don't even have no accountability for his life about how to rule women, how to, instruct women.
King David said, try my reins. Lord, he said, test me, man, so I can make sure I'm ready for the battle.
Yeah, because even with women, there's a lot of lust out there, man. Rappers and shit go into the industry, I'm king and all that. And then be like, end up being married and divorced and end up paying millions to these women and wearing dresses and everything. It just goes way up. Go ahead.
For this thing was not done in a corner. So that's
just like
play, man.
Just like this knowledge was understood. We're not in a corner.
Nah, man.
We Jake get to have the same access that we have to the knowledge was understanding. And you could use this, man. This knowledge. What is a so-called white man? He made the slave Bible. He used these same words against the slaves. They believed them. They got caught. Oh shit! The eternal fire. They believe that. So that's why a lot of Jakes believe it now. But a king to think about that, right? Like a prudent man, like that don't make no sense, man. According to mathematics calculation, that don't even make sense. So you pound on things. You meditate upon these things. See the balance of these things. That's why it takes a long time to go to war. It says everywhere 200 people get. I mean, a kingdom be taken down, but it's a process of for a kingdom to be taken down, because they are exercised with certain knowledge and certain formation, certain rules and regulations, Even Vespasian in them and Titus and Domitian and what Titus can't be had a campaign and shit. They don't just be out there wicked. I'm Titus, motherfucker. I tell you, cut your head out. Okay, got another campaign coming up, another beach coming up. And shit. You gotta do things like that, man. The women start arguing, you like, hey, hold on. It ain't no fighting amongst y'all, man. Y'all calm down. And remember, y'all my wives and shit. You know what I'm saying? Gotta bring them back to the levels and shit. Go to that. What was king? Go ahead. No king is born any other way.
Okay.
Because even Trump and people like Trump that came in to become powerful men, they were little children too growing up. Most High, he picked them out to be. It wasn't the least group. This people part of Trump's cabinet and the part of that brought Trump in and shit that was born after him. So it's all the Most High how things are orchestrated, things are born up on the earth, and what they become, what the outcome of things, and what man become. Go ahead. And I think Israel often asks that, right? They like, what will become of this? All these things, Lord. Even concerning prophecies, what will we? How is this going to play out, Lord? What will become of? What's the outcome of it?
This is wisdom of Solomon,
and we know the outcome of America. We know the outcome of these nations.
This is wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1. And it reads, I myself also am a mortal man, like to all.
And we are too. We got this knowledge, wisdom, understanding of mortal men, like unto all.
If anybody ain't feeling proud, it's us, man.
Yeah.
Because we the ones that have acknowledging our sins. Jake out here doing shit and think that he ain't gonna be no consequence for it, man. Jake just do stuff and don't really have no remorse about what he doing, man. He don't have no sorrow. He don't feel ashamed how he present himself to the Lord, man.
Yeah.
You know,
because like we said, like I said, even born, that we talking about born and being born. Hitler was a baby, and when he was a baby, his mother told him, "Shit, don't do that. Don't do that." Like manners to all children born on the earth. But he grew up to be him, one of the most powerful men on earth. You know? So you don't know what will become of men until the Most High put that spirit on them to become that.
And a lot of men, that's on the earth now today, they don't like that tone. They don't like that tone of order. They don't like to hear you talk to them like you need to get your shit together, man. Jack don't like getting talked to like this, man. But hey, man, without that, Jake, we're gonna be wicked out here, man. He need guidance out here.
He'll let a woman tell him that.
Yeah, he'll let a woman talk crazy.
You need to calm down. You need to,
yeah.
And he'll do it and shit.
It's like, like they don't understand that when it comes to the prophets, when we talk, tell Jake to get in order, man. It's from a sense. It's from a place of they care about you, man.
It's from the folk.
Care about it. It's come from the Father. He's showing they care about you. Because everybody else, he ain't telling them shit. He just don't let them get blown the fuck up out here, man.
If you don't tell your child, hey, look both ways, do this, he gonna go out there and get ran over.
Get ran the fuck over.
Then you gotta have everybody gotta feel sorry for him.
Yep. And then you're gonna have probably your wife like, why didn't you tell them how to be out here, man? That's your job, man.
Why did you tell them about the info TV? Now they got it. We clearing our name. We clearing our name, basically.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth.
Yep.
Verse 2, and in my mother's womb was fashioned to the flesh in the time of 10 months.
10 months, 9 to 10 months, yeah, but women are having babies earlier, of course.
Yep.
That's scriptural too.
Yep, it is. Yep.
They have a baby at 2 or 3 months and shit.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Being compacted in the blood of the man,
seed, and let you women. And let you know the seed is the man, man.
Yep. And they always try to go back to that Genesis where it says, I will separate thee and the woman, thy seed and her seed. But that's talking about the woman Israel. That's why we go to, you go to Revelation 12, talk about the woman Israel. Women don't have seed, man. Like if I go get $2 to put it in the soda pop machine, the soda pop out, who fucking soda is it, man? It's my soda. I'm the one entering in the money to get it. That's the same way with a baby. You gotta put your seed in there to get a photocopy of your ass.
That's why you got 2 women that try to have a relationship and a marriage, but then they gotta go to the sperm bank or something. Surrogate mother to get the seed and shit.
They ain't got a sperm bank with a whole bunch of women vaginas in there and shit. It's a bunch of sperm in there.
Yep.
And they say, well, if you get this sperm, the baby gonna look like this. Right?
That's why a lot of Jakes are gonna be twisted, like we said, Babylonian mind state. They gonna go with this artificial shit.
Yep.
They gonna go with simulated babies, whatever they call them, man.
Yep.
Because they don't want to do nothing the right way. They don't want to do nothing the real natural way, man.
Nope.
That's why this place needs destruction, man. Immediately, man. Fuck a 911 call, man. Ain't nobody gonna be able to save your ass from this destruction, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And the pleasure that came with sleep.
Yep.
Verse 3. And when I was born, I drew in the common air.
Drew in the common air like any other man, man. We were born like when Yahawah was born, even as Solomon, but he was born like into any other man. Even as Yahawah, he wasn't born in no immaculate conception, man.
Right.
Wasn't no spiritual seed and shit.
That's why Joseph put Mary away privately, because he was already hitting that, man.
Yeah.
That's why he did that. He didn't want to make a public example out of him, man.
Yeah.
You know what happens to harlots in Israel, man? Yeah. They get took the fuck out. You know, we even had customs like when you go into Exodus the 5th chapter. If a brother thought his wife was cheating, he could take her over there to the priest, and he would do a particular procedure and make her drink this bitter water. You know, and if it was found that she was unfaithful, she would get put to death, man. It was they thighs were brought out. Yup, that's like a cellulite. Yup, the thighs were brought out, man. You know, but if she was known to be truthful, and you know, she good. And this was like if a man suspected her to be doing something he don't know. We even have procedures on that.
And we told you if that wasn't the case, also why these women got so many demons on them, because they got different type of seed, men's seed in them.
Yep, mixed all in them, man.
Yeah.
So they don't know. They spirit can't be ruled.
And then it causes confusion. Like, I don't know if you the daddy or somebody else's daddy. And then they get to fighting on, and the man find out that ain't his child. It causes turmoil.
Go
ahead.
Verse 3, and when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature.
MS Virgin Islands, Shalom. Brothers and sisters on coming word. Yahawah Bahasham Shalom.
And the first voice which I uttered was crying.
Yeah, like any other baby. You know what I'm saying? You see a baby that come out, he ain't crying. You be like, damn.
Yeah, because that's the first time they drawing in this air, man.
Yep.
That's all others.
And he said, remember, he said the pleasant sleep that came with pleasant sleep.
Yep.
And so you bothering the baby, you waking him up to you know, a world that he don't know about.
Yep.
You know? But the air is coming. The way he was born is coming.
Mm-hmm.
You got men that's born in a war country and shit. They always going to war, but when they being born, they born in a common way.
Yeah, he said all men. That's even Yahawah. He had to come out through the womb, through the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. What's the point of having 14 generations from Abraham to Yahawah?
From Babylon
it was Babylon to Yahawah, and then there's another 14 generations after that, right?
Yeah, it's a generation from
Adam. It was
from Adam.
Adam to let me go pull it up. So I won't push. Been a while since I went over that.
Yeah. Adam to Abraham, something like that.
Yeah. It's something like that, but I just want to make sure you got it right. I mean, I get going too fast. Yeah. All the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations.
David,
yeah. And then from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. That's all the way to Yahawah. Why would that even be recorded if it had nothing to do with the seed line, man? It wouldn't have to be recorded. That don't make no sense.
And you got Solomon in there.
Within that, man. You know?
Yahawah being up.
And that's why I said Solomon would inherit the throne forever. The Second Chronicles, man, because that is Yahawah. You know? Verse 4, I was nursed in swallowing clothes. That's why when we see Wisdom of Solomon, we read Wisdom of Solomon, this is Yahawah speaking. Yeah. He's telling you that every time we come here, man, this is how it go, man. Lord ain't gonna break his own rules, man. And that who cares.
That who cares for the baby.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. We're almost to the point. Yeah. Verse 5, for there is no king that had any other beginning of birth.
So you're born under kingship, under a kingdom, within a kingdom family, but you're not really yet a king until you go up and you start learning. And Wisdom, even Solomon told about that. He said he know how to constellation, the wild beasts, the difference between this and that, and so you start to have king mentality and making king-like decisions. But everybody was born as a child, bumping their head, stay away from that, stay away. You got to be instructed. That's why I said you design a sincere prayer. Corrected a lot.
How much more the King of Kings, man, when he came on the scene, man? He had to be raised up.
He grew up in the tutors, governors, and all that.
Yeah, he grew up and had to get trained up on how to be a king, man. He said, ain't nobody ever ain't not done that, man. The difference is that he was perfect when he was Yahawashi, but that didn't change the fact that he had to be raised up, man.
Yep.
He still had to be risen up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. And what did he say? He didn't come in king's apparel.
Yep.
You know? He didn't come in king's apparel, man. So, we like manner coming in the spirit of Yahawah Yahawashi. We don't really have king's apparel. We don't have no gold and silver for our women and for our families and all that. Nothing to pass down to our children. But we got the knowledge, wisdom, understanding each other. It said that shall be the stability that time.
Because that's the custom of a king, to be humility before honor, man. Mm-hmm. You gotta start out base, low. You know?
Yeah, Jake, you remember Jake? He come out buying shit, got all kind of rings and jewelry and kings, and then he get robbed. And he be like, "Damn, poor." You know?
He gotta start over now.
Yeah. You know. And then what did King? What's his name? King Princess Luna.
Yeah.
He said, "Let them have our gold. You know what I'm saying? We're rich. We're king. Let them have it." They was, they had gold toothbrushes, hair dryers.
Yeah, that one dude came with all that shit. He said, "Boy, I got all that shit."
Our senior hall playing Simi, he said, "Deep." Everybody said, "Let them have it." Yeah. That's way of a king. He ain't gonna be all goofy eyed over one woman. He like, I got plenty of women, man. You know, I'm more about wisdom with the Most High. I got all the physical possessions. I'm trying to get my relationship right. Let me stay on the, even Solomon, he got blessed, not because with more possession, because he said you didn't ask for long life or possessions, you asked for give you more wisdom, how to judge matters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Verse
6: For all men have one entrance into life, and the life going out.
Like going out. Like I said, the tomb is a womb. You come on your mother's womb, but you go into a tomb, which is like a womb. You go into a casket, buried underneath the earth, the soil of the ground, like a woman. Like the woman is like to earth. Earth is like unto a woman, and you in the so, and you're not really dead. The spirit goes back up to the Most High. So that's just Yahawashi said death is like sleep. He said that about the young maid, she's not dead, she's asleep. So kings understand that too. Kings understand about the chariots. Kings understand about what kind of world that we're living in. Oh, son, don't go out there like that, son. Son, when you're around these women, you better not get too drunk. They'll rob your ass. Son, when you go out there, you got great possessions. Don't share them with every man. Don't tell every man your possessions. Keep a small circle, son. Stuff like that.
Yeah, and these people out here, they so proud. They'll come up and ask you like you don't have no rule over your soul. Like, how much you make a day? What you get with it? How you get? Why would we tell you, man? Why would we tell you? Especially if we don't know you. Why would we tell you anything that we capable of?
Really say, don't cash your pearls before swine.
Yeah, man.
Pearls is a valuable thing, man.
We're gonna tell you how we get down, man. We're not gonna tell you how to be a king if you ain't got no kingdom mindset. Hell no.
And then you have, like we said, there's different worlds of kings. Like you have a king of boxing, they call Muhammad Ali king of the ring. You had king of pop, Michael Jackson. You have Prince of R&B, the king of R&B. You know what I'm saying? King R&B, R. Kelly, they say. But it's different levels too, and different situations and all that. But we don't. Us with the knowledge, the very knowledge and wisdom, understanding that you need to govern the kingdom, nobody gives us honor. That's okay. That's okay. We ain't shooting for this honor. It says the prophet is not honored in his own country, man.
Yep. And it's because they don't meddle with a lot of stuff, man. Mm-hmm. They want somebody who want to get into everything and be all over the fucking place, man. We're not like that, man.
Like they said, we boring and shit. They want us to pop lock, moonwalk and have money and shit and glitter suits and shit.
Yeah, well, that's what the Lord said.
Yeah,
That's what the Lord said about that, man. It's Sirach chapter 11, verse 10. My son, meddle not with many matters. For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent, man. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing, man. It's gonna be shit we gotta get away from out here, man. You know, you messing with too many matters, you're trying to get to know too many people, trying to be all close with all these different people, man. Connected with all these wicked ass people, man. You're gonna be counted as one of these sinners, man. We're supposed to be contained within the ministry, man. Sticking around the brothers, man. You know?
Hey, that's why a lot of these celebrities get caught up. They be like, Jake be going in there proud, like, yeah, you know, I'm from the ghetto, I'm from the hood. I'm a G. And then he meets somebody that's greater than him and more keen and have more possession than him. He stepped into a bench, he's like, oh, man, he kind of get weakened by that, or he kind of stepped down a little bit. And then they start working on him. Next thing you know, like you say, he got a dress on and all that.
And then, of course, you're going to have acquaintances, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, to where, you know, if you need particular resources or something, you can trade stuff. But so you gotta have it keep it at that level, man.
You gotta and have the knowledge to discern those things. Like, nah, this shady, this dude is shady. You gotta keep be his friend.
Yeah, you gotta keep it at a business level when you are dealing with people that's not in the truth, man. Because you're gonna have to do a little something to make your money out here. You know, like even for me, sometimes my job I don't got no work, man. They'll be like, we ain't got no because I'm a chef, man. We ain't got no conventions. I gotta go figure out how I'm still gonna take care of my business, man. So I go out there and do my little gemstone business, and I gotta watch who I'm talking to, man. I gotta watch how I'm talking to people. Can't get too close to nobody. Sell your stuff, get out. That's how you gotta do this stuff, man. You can't be letting everybody know how we get down, man.
Then we was talking earlier about a man that's giving much money or riches. Let's say Jake $1 million. He gonna tell everybody. He gonna announce it on the TV and make a YouTube video about counting and shit. He ain't gonna make the right decision with the money.
Ain't gonna be good, man.
He gonna buy stupid stuff. And next thing you know, he gonna be broke.
And then when people start seeing you actually doing good, you starting to flourish. People gonna come up and try to offer you deals. People gonna try to get you to start going to their events. No, we good on that, man. We're gonna stay right here, man. We gonna go off our foundation. We good.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do with the MOTP. You can't think, you're confused and all that.
Man.
The MO, because they promise people that they gonna have you could think better. You can see for the first time. All those little intricate problems that Jake had, where you could, easier access, better living conditions. You might have a whole gated community that they all got the chip and all that. You're gonna be like, I want to, man. Well, not, but Jake gonna be like, I want to live there because it's safety there.
And Jake's so quick to try to get rich, man. Look at all these.
You can read that one too. Highlight it. Yep. Come on. Go ahead. You got more on that? I forget how to highlight it.
Yeah. I got just a little bit more.
How you highlight that out?
Yeah, I got it. I was trying to remember what I was saying. It's okay.
Yeah, we talking about rich.
Oh, yeah. Jake want to get rich so quick, but he don't understand. Like, look at all these wicked people up there, man. You don't want to get rich, man. You don't want to get too involved with these people. You want to just keep if you do got a business, keep it at a base level, man. Keep it at a base level. That way you get your daily bread, because anything other than that, man, it's gonna destroy you, man. You don't want to get too tied in with any of these people. Do no partnering or nothing, man. You see me out there in the street with my tables, you come get some gum. That's it, man.
Like you said, they ain't doing all that. Get too high, they'll rob your ass.
Yeah, exactly. And not even just that, you're gonna have certain particular wicked people. They're gonna be trying to do business with you, man. We're supposed to be hidden right now, man.
It's for an ill purpose a lot of times.
Yep. So we don't need all that, man. We just need our basics.
What did Paul say? Give me no riches, no poverty.
Yep.
Be content without food and raiment, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Verse 11, there is one that laboreth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind. Verse 12, again, there's another that is slow and have need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. So you don't got to get out there and get super rich, Jake. You ain't got to go out there when somebody try to offer you some particular type of business deal or partnership. Don't mean you got to take that stuff, man. Don't mean you got to, and that's with anything, even a job. They want you to be a superintendent or something, man. You might not want to go that high up, man.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to establish ourselves in this kingdom like that, man.
Go ahead.
Talk about a man with much leisure gets knowledge, man. Yeah. That's what Solomon asked for, man.
And Jake, let's say Jake, even with these contracts, Jake don't know about those contracts.
No.
That's why he be like, damn, I've got bamboozled and shit, because I don't know what this means. They got a whole different language with contracts. So you got people that are more business savvy in this world than we are, than we are in the world.
And it's legally binding. So now they can blow your ass up all the time. Be all in your DM, calling you. What's going on? Where's my money at? What? Nah, we don't want to be involved with nobody like that. We want to make it to where you see us and you on the other side, man. You either in the temple or you ain't with us, man. We ain't doing all that being friends and shit.
We in the world, but not of the world.
We ain't doing all that.
We can read that. Yeah.
So this is from GMS Virgin Island Straight Gate. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Yep. That's why, example of these worldly people, they get accolades and all that. You know what I'm saying?
They want to be worshipped.
Yeah.
I want to be worshipped. Jake is the former of all things. We just love creating stuff, man. We're creators. We're cultivators of the earth. And we're back, man. Back to cultivate the hopeful elect, man. That's why it's true.
An example of celebrityism, they get awards for their work and all that, their body of work. And it's the levels of awards. They get like BET awards, they ain't good enough for them until you get the Oscars and shit. That's what I'm saying. The white man's award, oh shit, you get an Oscar, you doing something. But all that's temporal shit. All that's vanity. I wish I even said that, Solomon. All is vanity, man.
And it's not the poor righteousness, man. Mm-hmm. It's not the really poor righteousness. Yeah. That stuff is not the poor righteousness.
And Solomon even said, as a king, he said he had maidens and shit. He had singers and servants and all this stuff. All the gold and silver. He says nothing, man. All is vanity under the sun, man.
So that's why the Lord says, seek the kingdom of heaven first. And then everything else be added to you what you need, man.
You're going to get those women. Like the apostles even said, on this side, you're going to get 7 women to 1 man. Don't worry about them women. Jake think he remember back then, Jake in the 90s, he used to think just because he missed one date, one weekend at the club, oh man, shit. Or a class and shit, you think you missed. And in the carnal world, you do miss a lot because you carnal and shit.
Yep.
Like if somebody show up that you wanted to see, oh man, who's like in modern day rappers and shit. And now he go to class every weekend. Come again and shit. We ain't on that shit, man.
We in the era where men are turning particular women down because they ain't worth our time, man. Don't waste our time on no woman on no bullshit, man. Yeah. We ain't gonna do that over here, man. We got too much shit to we got too much other stuff to worry about, man. We got too much other tasks that we got to complete, man, on a daily basis.
And that's right. Them women, that's what I think about. Every 24. We got knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We study the scriptures, man. Woman, everything a woman, when she think about it, he must be fucking a bitch. Fuck them bitches, man. We got wisdom of Sophia, man. We in love with the Most High. We the Most Highest women, man. We the Most Highest bride. We in love with these scriptures, man. And we in love with the truth, man. We put pussy on the back burner, man. We love it. We get it. Y'all don't come first, man. Box don't come first, man. You know? Come on, man.
This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly.
Yeah, that's another thing a king does. Walk circumspectly. You know? Circle means around, and spec means speculating things around. You know, what is this? Why is this set up? If they building a whole new building in front of your place, you gotta be like, damn, you might ask what's this? There might be some damn devils, like crazy ass people moving around next to your place.
Yep.
You wanna know about this shit. Yep. You ain't like you ain't snitching or nobody's business, but the business is your business. You know? Go ahead.
Yeah, Jay, you want to keep, like you said, that circle. You want to. That's why I call it the round table, man.
Yeah.
You want to keep your circle as close as a hula hoop in this motherfucker. You don't want to be dealing with all these wicked ass people, man.
Yeah.
And you might have a couple of them that might know you. You gotta be at peace with all men as is possible. But you gotta keep it. You gotta keep that barrier, man, where they don't have no access to your inside life, man. You see me out here somewhere, man. Wherever.
Black woman, she traveled and met this man, and out of nowhere, she didn't know him from nowhere and all that. She met him and all that, and they supposedly had a good time the first day and all that. But what he probably realized that she ain't got no family or she's away from her family. He cut her body up and then left parts of her body in one place. And then traveled to another place and left her body in that place. They found her parts in two different locations.
Yep. And Jake ain't got nothing to say about them people, man. They ain't got nothing to say about them, but we the damn bad guy. It's like we fucking problem trying to tell Jake, hey man, get ready, man. It's gonna be demons all over the place in this place, man. It's gonna be murderers out here, cannibals, man. Zombies in this bitch. Unknown creatures, man. Yeah. The last thing you're gonna be worried about is us just telling you to get right, man, with the Most High, man. That's gonna be class when they're telling you that by the time that day comes, man. So it says, see that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time.
And not a lot of time what we say or see we don't do whatever. And sometimes it's basic. Like your parents say, look both ways before you cross the street. As a grown man, you do that shit. It could be coming from some over there. It could be, it's like they do the same thing in the world. All y'all do is make money and go watch Netflix and grill and do drugs and fuck bitches. That ain't even nothing tied to having a mortal priesthood. Why would we even want to go and do that? It's always led to death, man. And these other nations, like I said, they put in prominent situations and prominent positions.
Yeah.
These other nations, the president, they got to be circumspect too. You can't be a president and just walk out there. There's people wanting to take you out and shit. You're the president and shit. You got people that hate you and shit because of your decisions, man.
Yeah.
So you can't just lollygag and act like everything is good and everybody's for you and shit.
They show the fuck ain't, man. And it always be people act like they cool with you. And as soon as you say something they don't like, they be ready to walk out with your ass, Jay. That's why we tell you don't get too close with nobody. A lot of people out here be all we friends and shit. Wait till this shit pop off, man. We don't see what the Lord is dealing with out here, man. We don't see, man, the young Judas, man. He act like he actually in the circle of the brethren, man. So I would tell Jay, get your mind right, man. Redeem the time. Make sure you know what you're talking about when it comes to this truth. Because the days are evil, man. It's evil time, man. Verse 17, wherefore, be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. What is the will of the Lord? It's to completely eradicate these wicked motherfuckers off the earth, man. That's what he wants to do. And if you're not in line with that, he ain't gonna make you no king. He ain't gonna give you no crown.
Yep.
You You're gonna be out here with the rest of them. You're gonna get judged.
You're gonna be crying with those missiles, man.
We're saying, man.
Fire on your head, man.
You're gonna get burnt up with all the Crown Royal bags out here in this motherfucker. Ain't gonna be no royalty left here, man.
You know, Jake is always sorrowed out and bummed out. He can try to drink his way through the year. You're gonna sober up like a motherfucker. There ain't gonna be no more liquor. They're gonna run out of food and everything, man. Jake is like, oh yeah, you know, I just shit, man. Get drunk and shit. Ah, man. Most High gonna make you. You might not even get drunk. Most High can make your. He could change. He can make your body not even get drunk, man.
And when you go into you know how they read the scriptures, like here's an example. Colossians chapter 4 verse 5, it says, "Walk in wisdom toward them that are without," right? Redeeming the time, right? We're supposed to conduct ourselves particular ways around people who don't understand the truth, right? It says, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt." What does that mean? That when the grace is saying you got a period to get right. It ain't saying we talking nice to you. That's not what that means. This is supposed to be a warning. It's like when you in trouble, your dad say, "Hey man, you better take out that trash." He ain't gonna tell you in a nice way, man. He telling you that hey, you need to do what you're supposed to be doing, man. He ain't gonna talk to you like you his friend. It's your father. You know?
Yeah. That's the problem, man. Too many fathers want to be their son's friends.
Yeah, man. That shit ain't gonna work.
And the same thing with these mothers. They want to be their mother's daughter's friends and shit.
It's not gonna be no respect.
Going to the same club and shit.
Yeah, it's not gonna be no respect, man. It's not gonna be no respect, man.
It actually says that in the Apocrypha. It says, fathers, paraphrasing, don't befriend your sons.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it actually says that, man.
It's supposed to be order, man. You're supposed to have reverence and fear for your father, man.
And it shows you a clear distinction between Yahawashi and Yahawah. He even tells Yahawashi telling you all the time, I'm not the father. I come in the name of my father. Without him, I can't do these things. But they trying to say that he's Yahawah too, man. See, that's these devils, man.
But Jake, you know, a lot of Jake was raised without their father in the house. And maybe some of them had their father in the house, but they didn't really discipline them, man. They didn't discipline them to show respect to their elders, man.
Well,
you know?
A bunch of monster-minded.
Yeah. So now that finally the Lord said his men, younger men out here, including myself, man. Talking about myself first and foremost. Us young men, finally they out here. The majority of us don't want to take heed, man.
Albert, you think you got it figured out and shit until he bump his head and he be like, damn.
We don't, man.
You don't got everything figured out.
Hell
you need guidance, man.
Hell no.
You know?
So don't got everything figured out. Saying myself first and foremost, I learn something every day. Every day, man. So it says, season with salt, that ye may know.
Hey, seasoned.
Yeah.
You got to be seasoned, man.
Yeah.
Just like the meat that's not seasoned. You don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Bland ass fish. You gotta have salt on that thing.
Then you gotta know how to cook. Let's say you have a wife that's cooking ain't that good and shit. But I need some woman in here that know how to cook and shit.
You know,
you get a second wife.
If you love your wife, you just tell her what you like. Maybe throw some lemon pepper on that motherfucker. Tell her what you like.
And I know that. But what's wrong with learning how to cook? Right?
It's like with anything. If you don't know how to do it, you can learn how to do it.
Learn how to do it.
So you don't just throw somebody away because they don't know how to do something. I walk to them without wisdom. Yeah. If you got that wisdom, show.
Like GMS, they got the ingredients.
Yeah.
You gotta, your old mama's grandmother's ingredients. You find that, you be like, oh, this is it. And you can make all kind of good food with that, man. You know, you can learn everything from GMS, man. The history, even certain things that happen in history, like sports and all that, and things that pertain to today, man. Even science and all that, man. Even different lands and stuff. And what happened in those lands? Who ruled and what time and all that? Is there anything else? Oh, it's somebody else. Okay. Yeah, but it's different. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi.
That you know how you ought to answer every man.
Even your own son might come to you with a question that like you ain't never heard before of any of your sons or any of in the world or whatever. But Dad, you know, I put it together. So what about this though? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, son, still son. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a son that might try to justify a little something or just see your opinion on something. Pop, you know, she said she's ready. Speculation. Scope it out a little bit more. And then he's gonna come and he might say, I should have let it or whatever. Or I should have. Sometimes your boss say, hey, that you better hold on to that. That's what because you like this ratchet woman and shit. You like her energy and all that shit. So like, man, hey, you better hold on to the submissive woman. You know, she ain't out there though. She don't like to party and all something. You say, fuck that. She's ready to do whatever you say. She's ready to, you know. Better give it up. Jake always wants that gold that glitters and shit. It ain't even real a lot of times. You see what's happening with these women, makeup and shit, wigs and all that. Just get you a real submissive, humble woman that you can't find it. You know, Paul said it's going to be like, you're going to get 7 women in one bed. That's coming.
And that's part of the Lord's customs. Like when Paul talked about he was charged with the dispensation of the Most High. You look up that word dispensation, it means economia. Talking about the economy of the Lord. That comes with women. That comes with wealth. That comes with riches. But first, the knowledge must be obtained and exercised at a low level, so you can show that you acknowledge that you really didn't deserve it, but the Lord's giving it to you anyway.
That's why you got something called basic math.
Basic math, man.
You know, your timetables. You know, I still know my timetables to this day. I'm not the greatest at math, but I know my timetable because exactly. It's just like GMS. Sometimes you gotta go to the basics. You know, the basic fundamentals. You gotta go to the GMS vault. You gotta go over Genesis again. You gotta go to, you know, those. And you're like, yeah, you can't say you just pass that. Get it in. Process this stuff. A little break process and like picture stuff. Like, yeah.
Just like a really good analogy, like reading and studying are 2 different things. Reading is like basically seeing Mount Everest afar off, and then studying is like climbing the mountain. You know, so sometimes it's good to just read a passage and not try to be like understand everything it's saying. You know, then go listen to a brother. You know, or listen to the elders apostles. And then they teach it, and then you learn stuff in there, and they speak about particular passages around whatever they're talking about. Go read that stuff, you know. Then that study, you know, because like you say,
to your life, you ain't under scripture, but that you actually got to apply this stuff.
Yep.
You know.
We tell you don't eat swine, don't eat swine. Tell you, don't get no goddamn edge up, don't fucking do it, Jake. Those are the simple things. If you can't get those down, there ain't no way your ass is gonna be ready for the real kingdom like-minded task that we have to complete on the earth right now. There's way bigger things that we gotta handle. We can't even do those basic stuff like that. Not having long hair, not having, and of course, we all got bros and stuff. We talking about people who got their hair down and they like a woman and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Because if any kind of suit that you have, like like we said, the wedding with the Most High bride, you come in a tuxedo. The tuxedo, every tuxedo look the same, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna have a what they call it, another kind of outfit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Something that's not a tuxedo. Everybody gets a tuxedo, man. So you could look the same as your brothers, man. You ain't gonna have one man, his hands all the way down the head.
Yeah, his fringes is like down here, like a t-shirt and shit.
Yeah.
Wow, we gonna make sure that we present ourselves in the best way possible to the Most High. Present ourselves to men, man.
You got fringes, earrings, you got fringes on your rings and shit.
Too much, man.
Come on, man.
Doing too much, man. Doing too much, man.
Just like it says, not excess wine, not excess styles and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's why remember it said women, they change apparel. That's, you know, Most High gonna take that away from them. What they say in the 7 women and 1 man, we're gonna wear our own apparel. You ain't gonna have to buy us nothing. They use the apparels and all that, but we'll take care of that. We'll call your name and follow you.
Yeah.
You know? They ain't thinking about what they gonna wear no more and what kind of hair they gonna have. No, they want to be called by your name. Go ahead.
There's Ephesians chapter 1, verse 15. Wherefore I also, after I heard of your faith in the Lord Yahawashi.
That's the same thing with us. We don't want to be called. We don't care about what these other nations have and shit. They have fancy cars. We don't care how rich Ishmael is. We keep that fucking gold and shit, man. We don't care about the status of these other nations. We want the Most High. You know, we want to be called by His name. We'll wear our own apparel. We'll say, you know,
yeah, we'll come up with our own brand, Lord. Just let them know that we with you.
We'll work a 9 to 5. Though we'll come feed as long as we call by that name.
Yeah, and then women like they ain't ready to do no Isaiah 4. We doing Isaiah 4:1 right now to Yahawashi. Yeah. The whole 4 leg. Hey, we'll go to work. We'll do our own thing. You ain't got to get us nothing. We're gonna do all our shit. Just make sure that when the Heavenly Father send you down here, tell him I said all with you. That's how our women gonna be in that day, man. That's how these women gonna be. That's all you gonna want, man. Yeah. And these men, they gonna realize that they was weaker vessels, man. These men in America, man, who didn't want to serve Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man.
They like we always say, they think it's a game.
And Jake be talking mad shit like he ain't controlling something. Wait till they put it in that motherfucking draft, man.
Yeah.
Wait till they put it in that draft.
Be crying, man.
Jake be, and even if you don't get drafted, this place gonna turn to civil war anyway. So there ain't nowhere to run, Jake. Yeah. You can try to move or go outside of America, or whatever, man. Yeah. It's gonna be all out war. It said it will be dead bodies from one end of the earth to the other. And there ain't nowhere you can run, Jake.
And ice. They might just start. You don't even have to be from a different another country. They might make a law say if you commit a crime, we can take you out of America.
Take you out. Shit, they can do whatever, man.
Yeah, they can do whatever, man.
So it says, in love unto all the saints, verse 16, cease not to give thanks for you, making mention of you in my prayers. Verse 17, that the Most High, Yahawah of our Lord, Yahawashi HaMashiach, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of Him. Verse 18, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of His calling. Most people don't even understand that. You know, the hope. You have to understand that there's a measure of hope and faith that you have to survive in this ministry, man. Because everything you're going to see is not going to be based on a sense where what you see in is hope. Especially when you first come in the truth, the Lord's going to be whooping your ass, man, to see if you're going to hang into that wisdom and see if you're going to suffer. You want to be a son of Yahawashi, you have to suffer. That's the only way you're going to get there.
What did it say? Wisdom disciplines her with
yep.
You know.
Yep. Tries his reins.
Tries his reins with her discipline.
Yep.
Paraphrasing.
Yep.
Wisdom will try your ass.
Yep.
You don't just get wisdom before she submit herself to you. Yep. By the Most High, she tries you to make sure you're one of the Most Highs. Okay, this is one of the sons of God.
Yep. And then after that, she's still gonna try. Mm-hmm. It don't stop. Yep. It don't stop.
You should. If you're not becoming wiser when you're getting your ass whipped in this truth, something's wrong.
Something's wrong. You ain't grown.
You're not growing. Go ahead.
So, and what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints. Verse 9, and what is the exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe, according to the working of his mighty power, which he wrought in Hamashiach, which is Yahawashi, when he raised him from the dead and set him at his own right hand in the heavenly places, far above all principality and power and might and dominion, in every name that is named, not only in this world, but also in that which is to come. Yeah. So how we don't have a name if we how we don't know where we don't got the name when it said it's in this world too. You got Bishop name them talking, we're gonna get the name in the kingdom. I said in this world we got the name. It's Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. There ain't no other name that's gonna be over those names, man.
Yeah, you're gonna be safe in a strong tower if you're right.
Right. That's it on that. That's all about all I got.
Hey, like we said, yeah, we said we're gonna like we liken it to those women, to that one man to Yahawah, why Yahawashi, let us be called by that name, you know, and take away our reproach, man. Mm-hmm. So we gonna and he said, ask of me, and would I give you a stone instead of bread? Would I give you a serpent? So if you ask for the Most High's name, he gonna give it to his children. His children with the hopeful elect, with the elect, he gonna give it to them because we want to know it. Dad, what's your name? My name is this, son.
When it talks about those kings, it says that kings they make counsel, then they make war. So if you ain't making counsel with us against these wicked ass motherfuckers out here and not making war with us, hey, we're gonna bring war to you. Starting with Yahawashi. We're gonna bring war to you, man. We're gonna bring war to you.
Lord is a man of war.
That's what we're doing. We're coming against this place, and we're prophesying the downfall of this place. And after that, man, once we get them powers, Lord willing, we get them powers, we're coming to your doorstep. That's everybody out here who don't believe in Yahawashi. We're coming to you. That's saith the Lord. That's what he said. And we believe what he said, man.
You know, back in the day, kings used to be in the war.
Yep.
They don't do that now. I mean, you imagine Trump on the battlefield. They got missiles though. They can just sit behind the desk. That's how this water place down. You can just sit behind the desk and push buttons and shit.
Yep.
Oh, hey. Oh, that goes without saying, man. You know, got it. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man. So hopefully it was edifying, man. Hopefully we stay intact, stay in tune, continue to be watchmen, you know, and exercise your mind to be kings and priests and make those type of decisions, man. To the best of your ability, but you got to learn first. You got to be a student. When you come to teach, you got to learn. You got to be born and then become a prince before you become a king, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you got it's orderly steps. Desire wisdom, desire the sincere milk of the word, you know, and through discipline of wisdom, you know, endure so you can get the wisdom, and she'll Most High start giving you more, you know, and that's coming from a humble, you know, you got to be humble too. So we thankful for anything we learn of the apostle, elders, bishops, anything we learn of each other in this world, we take it and we apply it.
That's right. You can even learn from somebody that's not in the truth. The Lord can put the spirit on them to say something that you should be observing. That's why we don't really talk. We don't really talk that much. You know, it seems like when we do these lessons, but when we out there, we listen to what people saying, man. And if you on some bullshit, we're gonna tell you on some bullshit. If you right, we're gonna tell you right. We men.
That word list is in listen. That means you make a list of what somebody's talking about. That's a part of listening. You write it down. And apostles always say that. You know, pen and pad, write down stuff, man.
And another thing, if you're just emotional, when we can sense that in the spirit, we ain't gonna tell you shit. We just gonna let you die out here. You know?
Yeah.
The Lord don't got no weak men in his council, man. None. They don't last. You gotta be tough. It's a spiritual military for real.
Yeah, and the part of that tough, great part of that toughness is endurance. You know, and women got strength, but they don't really got endurance, man. Like you'll have a woman that, strength with a man a little bit, but she can't really endure all day.
Yeah, and they're not supposed to. They're not really fit for they're not supposed to be on the battlefield.
Yeah, like I said, if this was ministry given to women, they'd be out there for one weekend. Yeah, and then that's it. Man. How long have Apostle been out there? 40 plus years, 30 plus years, 20 plus years, 10 plus years.
And the reason why he's got y'all like that, because that's representing the beauty of the Most High.
Yep.
The way y'all not like that, how graceful y'all are and nurturing y'all are. That's a good thing that y'all not like that, man. We ain't butch-ass women, man.
Yep. Soft-spoken.
Yeah, man.
Submissive.
Girly like. Shy.
I love girly like.
Yeah, man. That's what we really like, man.
Yeah.
Don't like these damn,
I forgot those types of women. Like when she was younger, I'm talking about the Holly Berry. Women used to be real feminine and soft-spoken back then, especially when they was in front of the elite cameras, because they got to keep them contracted. They got to keep that money.
And now they done scrambled up our women so bad now. It's like you can't even hardly believe them when they try to be super soft to you. You be feeling like you're getting set up or get robbed or something or get played or something.
Yeah.
So that's why we tough. Yeah. We won't be
all that trustworthy and between our people, they ain't gonna be in the kingdom. Yeah, can't trust them, trust no bitch, trust no nigga. That's that ninja shit. They ain't gonna be that shit in the kingdom. So we're gonna be a representation of the kingdom to come. Most High will till we out of here, man.
We just gotta observe. Be careful who you dealing with, too. Even some of these people who say they believe in Yahawah, they don't. It's different to know.
You gotta cut them off.
Yep, just like Saquon always says, it's you can say you know, but if you ain't taking no action on it, then you really don't know, because that's part of the know. To know how important this is, man. It's working.
And what did one more thing? What did in the Matrix he said? There's a difference between knowing the truth and walking the truth.
There you go.
You can know something, but you gotta walk it. So with that, we're gonna give all praises to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Right there was shy. I'm honest to Apostle Elder Bishop's great millstone. Must I take you, brothers? Teaching the word for hope for election will be the elect. Most High will to hopefully stimulate Shalom blessing, men, women, and children. Provide for tuning in, the brothers and few sisters that was on the board, gave scriptures, water, Shalom. Shalom.